Hey everybody, David here with Mojo, and I am super excited to be recording this video today right before the new year. In this video, I'm going to go over a future update that we have coming to the Mojo platform that we're going to release to you on Friday, January 14th. We're going to talk about Action Plans Phase 2, a revamp of our activities section, as well as a few miscellaneous updates to support our new functionality within the Action Plans. I'm also super excited because this is a turning point for Mojo. We're turning the corner from being just the tip of the spear in your prospecting efforts to a fully functional lead acquisition and follow-up system, both short, medium, and even long-term follow-up. And I'm going to demonstrate how that's going to work here in just a moment. The first thing I want to address is the Action Plans Phase 2. We've been telling you we're going to come out with this for some time now, and we're just about ready. So I'm going to head into the settings area and go to marketing and stay right here on action plans. And we're going to see here that I have 3 action plans in my development account right now, and I'm going to go ahead and edit or review my hot lead action plan. We can see here that I can now add phone calls, tasks, and marketing letters to an action plan. So this rounds out all the potential touch points from within the Mojo system on all of your leads, your contacts, and your database. So we're super excited about this. For those of you who are familiar with action plans such as the 10 Days of Pain or the 8x8, now you know you can construct those right within Mojo where your data is, and Mojo's going to lead you by the nose to the activities area to make sure you fulfill all of the steps within your action plans. The other thing we did is we've given you the ability to save an action plan as, so save as, so you can easily duplicate an action plan where you're only making a few changes. You no longer have to create them from the ground up. So again, emails, we've been doing that for some time now. Those are still here. We've added follow-up calls, tasks, and again, the marketing letters. And by the way, we already have people looking forward to using this on the transactional side, post-listing or post-sale, for those needed actions to get a property ready for sale and whatnot. So we're super excited about that. So that's the first thing we've done. Again, we've added the save as ability. In addition to that, before I move on, I apologize, we've also added the ability to insert a step within the action plan without throwing an error. So if you create an action plan and you go, oops, I meant to use a different step 5, you can now insert that easily and then save it and update it. So we're really excited about that. The next thing we're going to talk about, let me get out of here, is we've added some pre-built action plans. If I click on the pre-built action plans button, you're going to see here that we've got 4 in here for now. We plan on adding more as we get feedback from customers. These are all drip email action plans as they sit, but you can edit them once you bring them into the system. To bring them in the system, you simply check off the checkbox next to the plan you want to import and simply click import. And you can see here, boom, there it is. There's my expired property action plan. Now I can take a look at those steps by clicking on the edit widget, and there we go. Here are all my action plans. If I want to view the templates that make up this action plan, I simply click on the edit button, and I can go one step by step and progress through each template, make edits to them as needed, and save them, and then save my action plan, and I'm good to go. If you're a lot like me, you're going to appreciate this because sometimes we need just a little push to get over that follow-up bump, and hopefully by giving you these pre-made action plans, that's going to give you guys a hand with that. All right, so that's the pre-built action plans. Part of action plans are drip email. And some of the input we got from users was, you know, I love this new feature, your drag and drop email editor rivals that of MailChimp and iContact, and I love saving money, so I'm going to use Mojo's moving forward, but it's too bad you didn't give us some ideas of what to do. So if I click on the email area of the settings, I can come to my templates area. And within here, I've got a new button that's called pre-built templates. So when I click on that, it opens up a light box of all the available templates that are inside my system now. And I can simply click on one to review it. And if I like it, I can either choose to import it here, and it'll automatically shoot that into the templates area of Mojo, or I can check off all the ones that I want and do a batch import by clicking on the import button at the bottom. Please note, it's very important that these are organized by property type. So I've got FSBO property, and the theme is general. I have past client, theme, thinking of you, past client, neighborhood expert, go green, expired property, comedy, expired property, general. You get the idea. So we have something for everybody. So we hope that you guys can take advantage of those and start sending those out to your database. All right, so that's the pre-built templates. And the next thing we're going to talk about is our first trigger that we're adding to the system for action plans. And that's coming by way of the lead capture forms that are already in Mojo. If you don't know what lead capture forms are, it's a way inside of Mojo to create code that you can embed on your current website forms, that when they're filled out and submitted, not only does that contact data go to where it goes today, maybe it's your email or some other system, but it will also come right into Mojo. And when you create these, you can now choose to have it go and trip an action plan. So this is great for those of you who want to collect leads on a website and then shoot out an autoresponder. So in this example that I just gave, you'd create an action plan called, NewHampshireHomes.com autoresponder. And every time someone fills out a form, there's one email template in there that addresses their entry. They click submit, boom, that autoresponder, that email template gets sent to them immediately, and it's super simple to set up right here in Mojo. So this is how we can create these action plans. So this is how you can kind of force yourself to follow up. How do we get it so we actually do the follow-up? Well, that's different. We're going to head over to the activities area for that. Inside of the activities area, we've moved things around a little bit to make it a little cleaner and easier to navigate. In the top left, we now put the date range in here. This is how you can insert a to and from date to look at what's due on your activities planner. You can choose a certain agent here by hitting select agent if you want to just drill down into one agent on the account if you're on a multi-user account. At the top in the center, we have the different types of activities. We have the different preset time frames, today, past, future. We have the ability to search somebody out. Let me fast forward here to January and take a look at the 2nd. We'll see here there's a green label, which indicates that there's a follow-up call due. And look at that. I have several follow-up calls due. And these are all part of our new action plans. I did not set these individually. I assigned these 6 contacts to an action plan, and now all those future events, whether it's a follow-up call, a drip email, a task, or a letter, all populate here on my daily planner. So one of the tips I have for anyone watching this video is when you block out time for prospecting, you may want to add a couple minutes here to complete your follow-up, because we all know follow-up really increases our success closing, setting appointments, and taking listings and making sales. So it's a no-brainer, especially now that Mojo helps you easily set it up and, of course, execute it. So let's say I wanted to make these follow-up calls. Well, if you're already familiar with the follow-up calling, this won't come to us, won't come as a surprise, but maybe you're not familiar with it. You can actually make all of your follow-up calls that you have set with the Mojo Dialer, and we've made some changes to that, so stay tuned. I'm going to click the follow-up calls activity type, which singles out only the follow-up calls. And then when I do that, we have a red button here that lights up. And when I press it, it brings up the new follow-up call wizard. We've added some things here, so pay attention because I think you're going to find them pretty cool. The first one is, for our not dialed filter, we've added today. And that means literally today. At 12:01, whatever your time zone, to the current point you're at, anyone you haven't called in that time period, not just 24 hours like we've always had it. The next thing we've done is when you're making your follow-up calls, in order to improve your experience and to make you the most efficient, we've always had a default, it was never an option, to mark your follow-up call as completed automatically when you choose the contact last call result button, which makes sense, right? As you're calling, if you hit contact, it would indicate that, hey, I've made contact, and we don't want you to have to manually clear that call, so we auto clear it for you. But we've had plenty of customers request to have it auto clear just based on being dialed. So it defaults to the way it's always worked, but if you're one of those people that wants it to auto clear even if you just dial it, you uncheck the box, and anyone that you dial, whether you contact them or not, will come off your follow-up call planner as completed. And for those of you who really like to pack follow-up calls into your planner, we have great news. Yes, we did it. We added the capability of 2- and 3-line dialing to the follow-up call wizard, so you can now blast through all of your follow-up calls. So let me go back to the activities area. Okay, so as I pointed out before, we've added the ability to add letters to your action plans. Now, one of the things that comes up with letters is, well, shucks, it's a real pain to have to print them off one at a time. Well, now we've added the ability to mass print letters that fall onto your planner. Here's how we do it. you simply highlight that you only want to see letters. Once you do that, just like with the follow-up calls, we have a secondary button tied in here, and it's the print icon. And when I click on the print icon, I can either just hit print letters, or I can choose to have an envelope and a return label. In addition to this, by the time this is released on January 14th, we're also going to have the ability to print mailing labels for these, not just envelopes. Or you can print just the letters, and you can use your own branded envelopes. So again, we've just automated that letter printing. So if you're not using marketing letters yet, we've pretty much removed all of the excuses. You can easily schedule them, and you can easily print them in bulk. All you have to do is yourself or an assistant or a team member have them mail them out, and you're good to go. Not a lot of effort on your part. All right, let me catch my breath here. So we did some stuff in the back end, I should say. We made some miscellaneous changes to the system to make it so it's easier to use all of this stuff. The first one is when printing mailing labels. If you are a mailing label printer, we now give you the ability, let me go back to Data and Dialer. We now give you the ability, let's grab some data here, pretend I'm going to send them mailing labels. I come into my marketing area and I want to print mailing labels. We now give the ability to start printing on a certain row and label. Now you'll notice here that our mailing labels are specific to Avery 5160. That's a 3-column layout, meaning there's 3 columns of labels. And what you can do is, in the case that you have a full sheet, you'll leave it by default row 1, label 1. But let's say you've used 6 of your labels. So you're missing 6 labels. What you would do, there's 3 labels per row. You've used 6, so you're on the 3rd row. You would come down to row 3, and now you start at label 1 on row 3, and we would ignore the first 6 or 2 rows of labels on your sheet. Let's say you printed 7. Well, you'd go row 3, begin on label 2, because your 3rd row has got the first label missing. So it's going to start on the middle label, or label 2, because there's 3. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Look forward to your feedback on that. We know a lot of you were unimpressed with wasting paper. So we now give you the ability to print a partially used sheet of Avery 5160 labels. All right, let me get past this and open up a contact form. The other thing you're going to find to help facilitate action plans, we've got the email tab here. And what the email tab, well, you've already got that. But what it does, let me just reiterate, any email that you send from Mojo, period, shows up in this email tab with the subject, the email it was sent to, the agent that sent it, the type, whether it was an action plan or a drip email, whether it was a blast, because you can blast email from Mojo if you didn't know that, whether it's a manual send, a click to send, or if it's an auto send using the dialers, last call result buttons to initiate the sends, it shows up here in the type. And the next one is status. There are various statuses. There's unopened, in queue, failed, click through, opened, naturally, spam. And that status will show here in the timestamp of when that was sent. So that's the email history. The action plan, let me go ahead and assign this person to an action plan the manual way. I'll stick them in the expired property one. All right. So once I have a contact assigned to an action plan, on the right-hand side of the action plan tab, it'll show me the name of the action plan and whether or not it cascades into the next into a next action plan or not. And let me just stop right there. Think about that. With Mojo, you can now set up a 10 days of pain, then an 8x8, and then a 33 touch. Just like that. It'll go boom, boom, boom. It will cascade from one to the other until you make contact with them and take them out of the action plan series altogether. So let's fast forward back to the topic. In the center here, in the grid, we show all of the actions that are set up to be delivered or already delivered in the current action plan. So let's take a look. I just put this person, Drew Bledsoe, in the action plan expired property. And on 12/28, an email, the label expired campaign day 0, is set to go out. So it's the next step. On January 2nd, there's another email, expired campaign day 4, and that's all scheduled for the future. Now, This could be phone calls, tasks, it doesn't matter. It's all going to show here regardless of the step. So when you're on the phone with somebody or you're reviewing a record, you can go in and you can take a look at these action plan steps. And maybe you've just tried to call this person so many times, you're thinking to yourself, geez, I've just failed. I can't get them on the phone, or they're not responding to my emails, or whatever the reason. You can easily go up here to this black button and either stop the action plan that they're on, reassign it, or skip a step. And back to action plans, this is a common question. We have the logic built in that if you're a realtor and you have an action plan scheduled on a contact who is a property that was posted either via our service or one of our preferred vendor services, please note that if that property goes from expired back to active, we stop the sending of all action steps, or the scheduling of all action steps, if you have that option checked when you set up the action plan. So rest assured, you check it off, stop all activities. If property goes back to active, you check that, it's going to stop. So it's just an added level of protection for you as a realtor. So that's already built into the system. That's pretty much going to wrap this up. Again, we're really excited about this. We're giving you all the tools to prospect for new business and to also nurture and take leads from cradle to grave inside of Mojo for your contacts, your database, past clients, have-mets, whatever it is. However you work your database, you can do it now right from within Mojo. You've got all the tools at your disposal. We help you schedule it, and we lead you by the nose to make it happen. That's going to wrap this up. Again, David from Mojo, I want to wish everybody a safe and happy new year, and I hope everybody has a prosperous 2017. Thank you very much for your business, and as always, make it a great day.